Facebook. How much? Just have them come over to Twitch. Okay, share this to a page, share it to a page. Let's go over here. Okay, so let's go to Google Sheets real quick so I can go over this idea. Let me pull up my restream chat just in case someone's talking. I was actually looking at some, I don't know if you're here yet. Let me know when you're in. Oh, I got 3 people watching already. That's a quick jump up. That's funny. Let's see. Where are we people watching from? One from Facebook, so it's probably you, Haluk. Okay. So actually, I was looking at an idea with the market. So you have like the farmer rates, right? This is like the theoretical if you don't walk and perfect, but these are the more realistic rates of what a farmer can do. And a gold miner has a faster rate than a regular farmer or a Slav farmer. On top of that, part of the time, like only 71% of the time that villager works on the farm, the other rest of the time they have to actually cut the 60 wood to make the farm. So really, for one villager to farm, the rate's actually like 0.2299 food per second. That's kind of the rate of a. So for a Flobstar rate, no upgrades, it's 0.23 food per second. One upgrade is about 0.28 food per second. But then you look at the gold rates, and they're much higher than that. So theoretically, you could mine gold first, and just use that gold to buy the food, and you can actually be more productive and more efficient because you're using your villagers' time to get the resource you want, which is food, and getting wood first before food takes longer than just going gold and then buying the food, as long as the market resource is cheap enough. So if we look over here, so at a Turk gold rate, 40.40 per sec, and then one upgrade is 0.23. Right. So so it starts at what, 130? You get like 100 food costs 134 gold. So you could buy the food up to 173 gold per 100 food, and it'd still be more efficient than having a villager cut the wood and then do the farm. And that's for Turk gold rates. I didn't do normal gold rates because if I was going to do this, I would probably do Turk gold rates. But we can do normal gold rates too, which is 0.38, 0.44, and 0.49. So a normal civilization, not Turks, we're looking at 165, 191 if you get one gold upgrade, I think. Yeah, one gold upgrade. So 160. Well, the cost of the market, I thought about that, but that's like the same question of building a mill or building a mining camp. That is a good point, but typically you're already. I guess you could. Well, I guess it only matters if you're not already building a market. That this extra question you're bringing in is a good. But you could see how long it takes to get 175 wood. 175 wood divided by the wood gathering rate, and then 448 seconds to get a market. So it's you could train an extra villager to account for that. There's many ways to handle that, but the question I'm answering is yeah, I guess that 175 would slow these down. You're right. But you also get other things from the market, vision, and then you also can age up from it. So I guess it really depends, right? If I'm going Turks, I'm probably gonna go market, arsenal. I'm gonna fast castle, drop a castle, and I'm gonna go trebuchets, and in the Imperial Age, create Janissaries if I'm playing 4x4, for example. And that's kind of the strategy I'm looking at with this Turk gold rate, because with Turks you want to get to the late game, and they have 20% gold mining rate, which is why I started looking at it. But this is not the more important thing. This is literally what I was just looking at because it's interesting. Like, no one really uses market manipulation, and if you're a Saracens, this starts at 105, so you can like really manipulate the market with Saracens. But most people don't really think about like this isn't the true rate of farming food gather rates because you got to get the wood first, and no one really thinks about that. And I think if you're thinking about it and you just realize it's about 160 the break even point, that's huge. You should buy food before you um farm food is this below 160 like always, unless you're like in the higher ages. But let me get to the more important one after I just wanted to reiterate the conclusion there. But now this is looking at efficiency and productivity. Um, now, so say we have step 1, step 2, step 3, and rather grand picture instead of gather rates. Well, the gather rates helps me understand which choice is better, and I can get economical advantages early game just by making these choices that no one will ever even think about. And in I guess I'm a system engineer, so I'm business engineer. It's the same thing. Industrial engineer, statistical engineer. So I don't know this, but like I don't. Let's go into this right here. I want to really explain to you the difference between efficiency, efficiency, and productivity. I don't know if I spelled those right. I think I did. So say we have step 1. It takes 2 minutes to do step 1, and in step 2 it takes 4 minutes to do step 2, and in step 3 it takes 1 minute to do that. So let's look at it. So and we're going to do this process for 1 hour. 1 hour. So 2 minutes, 4 minutes, and 1 minute. Step 1. So we can get 30 repetitions done of step 1, right? 30 repetitions. And then in step 2, we can get 15 repetitions. And then in step 3, we can get 60 repetitions. So how much did we produce in 1 hour? How many units did we create? Whatever we're creating. Went through a 3-step process to create a unit. I'm asking you if you see the answer. I wonder why this isn't showing up here. Oh, because you're messaging me on Instagram directly. That's why it's not showing. But yeah, I'll give you like 20 seconds to think it through. I don't know if let me zoom in a bit as well. How many units were created in 1 hour? Full completed units. We created 60 step 3 pieces, 15 step 2 pieces, and 30 step 1 pieces. How many did we create? We created 15 units. We have a surplus of 15 step 1s and a surplus of 45 of those steps. Okay? We produced 15. We produced 15. Now let's make something more efficient. Let's take this system and let's add another person to the system. Now it takes 1 minute. Now it takes 1 minute. Now we got 60 repetitions. So we got what do we do? We went from 30. We increased productivity by 100%, or we got 100, or how would you say that? We produced, we got more efficient, right? We were able to produce more with less resources from, well, the system got more efficient or productive, but we made the step more efficient by adding more resources to it. So we doubled the labor, cut the time in half, and we produced how many units? We still produced 15 units. Do you see how efficiency did not make you produce more? But if you do this one, if you improve this one to 2 minutes by adding a second person there, now this goes to 30 repetitions, and now you actually produce something positive. You see that? So that's so businesses that only focus on efficiency run into these problems where they're making improvements, but they're not producing anymore in the whole system. But if you focus properly on where you need to be more efficient, you actually produce more. So in Age of Empires 2, where does this fall into? The town center and the dock. And all military units as well. But it's more important. It's most important with the town center and the dock because constantly making villagers and fishing boats are the best investment. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. You really do got to let this sink in because, like, it's so tricky, but so simple and powerful if you don't get tripped up by it. So, like, I mean, I take it you're pretty good at Age of Empires, and you know you gotta constantly make villagers, and you don't want any idle villager time. And so if you have two town centers, could see how you would produce so much more. Just we don't even gotta go with the steps. It gets a little more complicated, but that's why I think Nomad is a productivity map. You focus on productivity because you have to get those two docks out immediately to boom really hard, and you gotta do it optimally. So the faster you get those docks out, the faster you boom. So in Nomad, I will send my first 3 villagers to wood to build a dock to get a fishing boat out immediately before I even start collecting food to get my town center continuously making villagers. Because you start with some food, so you can use that storage food to get some wood to get a fishing boat out and then switch to food and keep your town center producing. So how did I come up with that strategy? I didn't watch the Viper. The Viper does the same thing, but all I did was I applied this concept of how do I want to produce more? And to produce more is to get that dock out up as soon as I can and get that fishing boat out as soon as I can. And then from there, what do? I send 6 villagers to food, and then I get constant village production on the wood, and then you need 4 fishing boats for constant village production from the town center. So as I add fishing boats I take the villagers off food and add them to wood. This way, I can get my fishing boats out even faster as I'm constantly producing villagers, and then I get my second dock up the fastest optimal time because I'm doing this process. And then once I get that second dock up and both docks constantly producing with villagers, which is about 14 villagers in wood, I take a crap ton of villagers off wood and I put them back on food to start my feudal age, and my docks keep working the entire time. So that's like the most optimal, powerful boom you could do on Nomad, and it's very powerful. But with I'm gonna look at your message in a second. But let's look at Arabia. Arabia is a efficiency map, and why do I call it an efficiency map? Because it has the 3TC boom isn't as important in here. It's the rush. It's about getting your villagers chopping that wood perfectly. It's your lumber cap efficiency. It's your villager walk time efficiency. keeping walk time as low as possible, like knowing where your villagers need to be so you're not flooding back and forth the villagers. Like that's what the Viper's build orders are getting at. Doing everything perfectly so every villager is perfectly efficient, but it also has to eventually figure out what you're going to produce and how you're going to produce more. If you only have one town center, well then it's all efficiency and and let's look at what you said here. Okay, so um you got a point there. So a dock is like a half a town center. It takes 45 seconds to produce a fishing boat, and it takes 25 seconds to produce a villager, and it takes 75 wood versus 50 food. So it's not as good as a town center. And a fishing trap is more efficient than any fishing gathering point that's within 8 tiles. So after 8 tiles away from the dock, it's more efficient to have a fish trap. And if you do nomad, like how I'm doing it, I normally age up with like 34 villagers. So I have so much food that I just turn all those fishing traps or all those fishing ships into fishing traps in the feudal age. And I normally do 4v4s. I do. I mean, even 1v1s, this works so well. And 1v1s, I want to age faster so I can rush harder and get my fishing ships up. But in 4v4s, you have a little bit more leeway to be more passive and boom a little bit harder. But closest to the fish, so yeah, the closest of the the fish to the dock is the efficiency of the fishing boats, right? Yes, but you could also look at system efficiency. But let's look at what productivity, the stated quality of producing something, especially crops, the effectiveness of productive effort, especially in industry, as measured in terms of the rate of output per unit of input, the rate of production of new biomass by an individual population. That's not really a good one. Efficiency. The state of quality of being efficient. So let me put this in a business term. And a business term, during the Industrial Revolution, manufacturing companies got massive amounts of robots, right? They got robots everywhere. They were they were turning these they were making 2 minutes to 2 seconds, and they were making these other processes like 1 second. But there were some manufacturings that never hit the bottleneck. So all of their millions of dollars and improvements they did with all these robots, their manufacturing company collapsed, even so they have a technological advantage over every other manufacturing company. And it's because they simply did not understand this productivity idea. Productivity, a business only operates to make money. So if you're not making money, you're not productive. You can be extremely efficient, you can make a lot of products, but you could never make a dime, and that's not productive. You can be extremely efficient and not productive. You found this, and what'd you find? Use the Instagram app to see the message. Oh, I can't see the message. I mean, that sounds like it's pretty close. It sounds right. Yeah. Right, right. I mean, yeah, exactly. So how that's kind of, so say there's um let's put this back to 2 minute, 4 minute, 2 minute. Say there's two people here and one person here and one person here. We take one person here and put it here. One, two, one. It's the same amount of resources, but the output would double. So yeah, I could see how that picture using less input to get the same output, getting more output from the same input. But sometimes you have to add more resources to get more productivity. Like say this, say it was 242, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, and 2 minutes, and they all had one person on it. Well, you couldn't really take this person and put him over here because then this would go to infinity. So the simpler answer to this one is just to add a person. So it's 2, 2, 2 in that case. But like, and like if this was like a workstation, you would just make a second workstation. So you have two people doing the process that takes twice as long as the other processes, and because you have two people doing it, it produces twice as fast as it normally would, which is you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, that's about it. That's what I use for Age of Empires. And like from there, like then you start looking at like what do you need for constant vill production? 6 villages. What do you need for constant fishing boats? 7 villagers and wood. What do you need for constant farm production? I think it's like 2 villagers per 10 farmers. I don't even know. Or then what do you need to get constant barracks production? Just stuff like that. But and it also allows you to like balance your economy without having a build order. And that's kind of, I mean, you end up having a build order because of the patterns you go through over and over again, but like it's after the 6 villagers on food, it doesn't matter what I do. And I normally have a longer dark age than other players because like the vision of the system I want to build is to create a thought system that encapsulates strategies and concepts of business that can be used to explain the actions and give more understanding and control over their decision making. So yeah, you would start with, let's just go to the engineering process, design process. Because if we're going to do it in that manner that you want, we would go here. Ask to identify it's engineering process. Yeah, no, your grammar's fine, man. I type the same way. So I would say we'd start somewhere right here. Ask, research, imagine, plan, create, test, improve. Ask to identify the need and constraints. So this would be like the question, what are we trying to do? If in terms of what we're just looking at, I'd already closed it, but the one question I could ask, how do I boom hardest? How do I get the strongest economical advantage? What the Viper asks is, what economical setup do I need to perfectly execute the fastest rush possible, or whatever? I mean, like, it's how you question or answer or it's how you like phrase the question, right? So like, the first step ask would be the concepts and strategies. So if you want the vision of a system, so the vision of the system, if I would just use one that's already exists, it would just be use the system that's already existing. I just use an engineering design process, so especially if you want to do it in a business aspect. Explains business. Okay, we could do the business cycle, or is this for a class? Do you what? So I want to create a system that explains business through AOE. Is this for YouTube content? Is this... I know it's based off that question I asked you, but that question is like... it is a system to figure out. Not for class. It's just to make people understand business at the same time as... So you're a business student, right? different philosophies. Well, do you have any ideas of what you're like? You know, I shared two ideas with you. What do you have in mind? Like another question I asked myself is what technology upgrades are most important? And to me, it's now easy as hell for me to see. Um, like for example, like wood cutting is the most important, and then it's food, and then it's wheel cart, and then it's your gold and your stone. But you normally don't get gold and stone technical upgrades because there's not enough to stay on it. Looking at the principles and numbering them. I summarized the personal MBA. I summarized the personal MBA by Josh. I'm looking at the principles and numbering them and creating a number label mind map system that can be connected instead of a linear system. I'm kind of confused what you mean. How to make good business decisions. How to maximize your personal productivity. How to measure uncertainty and ambiguity. Ooh, that's a good one. That one right there would be huge for Age of Empires. The maximize personal productivity. That one's easy. We just talked about it, right? How to make good business decisions. We just talked about that. How to conduct intelligent experiments to improve your results. We can definitely do that. Um, those four steps definitely is a good roadmap there. I'm not sure if that's where you're thinking about starting. Okay, that's interesting. It's like it's like routing. It's like a dump truck route or a like a dog scoop poop removal service or a maybe a snow blowing business. I'm just looking at the diagram. Like when I look at that, I've used diagrams like that, but it wasn't about business principles. It was about optimally routing things and moving things around. But like in my idea, so instead of a linear improvement and incremental improvement, we can jump exponentially in thinking by connecting different business concepts and creating hybrid concepts. Do you have an example of what one and two would be? Yeah, an example would be great because I know if you could put an example, you have a pretty good idea where you're trying to go. Okay. I'm really enjoying this conversation, man. I was really happy to you comment on the video. That video you commented on, I don't know why, but the quality on that was crap. Like I was looking at it, I was like, holy crap, why did this? I don't know if it was because it was Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and it just didn't look really all that great on my computer. So when it got to YouTube, it just didn't look that great, I guess. But I was looking at some of my other content since I got my new computer, and the quality has been there. So why that video's quality was down, I don't know. Um, But concepts that can improve each other. Oh, you're still typing. Okay. Yeah, I'm just talking while you type. 'Cause I'm technically kind of streaming, so I should kind of be start always talking type thing. And I actually got a couple people watching, surprisingly. One person from Twitch. Oh, the other person. No, someone's from Twitch. What's up over there on Twitch? I don't get too many viewers, but I normally get like 10 every stream. Or 4 or 5 hours. And I get like 15 views on YouTube a day, but I have like 150 videos. Getting a lot of videos is what really helps you grow. Just keep working. Like you can even do amazing video and you only get like you get like the same rate I would get almost. You probably get better. No, you probably get better rates if you made an amazing video. I'll give you that, but making an amazing video takes practice. And just doing it, making lots of videos is a good opportunity oh yes, there we go. Opportunity cost is a great freaking concept. Great a concept. From that maybe let's say that Mango's total 300 resources, so you can invest it in different economic pursuits, but since you lost 2 mangonels and you thought that you have already invested 600 resources, you should invest more when you should be adding a 3 TC instead of creating 2 more mangonels in a forward push. So this concept is okay. Opportunity cost. I like this. It's the cost. It's the best alternate opportunity that you give up when making a decision. So when you're doing a mangonel rush with 2 mangonels, what's the next best solution? Okay, so the next or what Oh wait, it's been a while since I'm mixing this up. You want the least. Let me just look up the opportunity or the definition again for I don't mix myself up. A set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. No, opportunity cost, not opportunity. The loss of a potential gain from the loss of a potential gain from other alternatives from one alternative is chosen. Yes. So I have $100. I can invest it over here. 15%. I could invest it over here, make 15%, or I can invest it over here, make 10%. So the opportunity cost of going with the 10% investment is 5%. Because that's the cost of the gain you gave up to go with another alternative. But you normally want to look at the next best option, not just all of the options, because the next best option. Yeah, let's look at it a little bit different, a little bit deeper. Because I know it's tricky. I just haven't looked at it in a year or two. Let's see what you got on it. Like, for example, in business launching a product, when it reaches its desired point by premiering and advertising it on a date instead of attacking with 1 mangonel instantly in your siege workshop, you should get to 3 mangoes and really get a surprise attack and limit their... Dude, this is exactly what I was getting at in that video that you were talking about. It's like, do we go up at 19 villagers because that's the minimum amount of villagers we can produce to get the feudal age, get a stable out, and start producing scouts to get the fastest scout rush? Or should we maybe age at 24 villagers, so we have 5 villagers collecting resources over the 2 minutes to age, which means more resources in the feudal age, and we got the villagers out sooner, so they're more productive than other villagers that get on the field to work later. And then you get up to your feudal age, and then you put 2 stables down instead of 1 stable, and then you produce 4 scouts over 2 cycles, and then you send the 4 scouts out to attack together rather than having 1 person. That's like one thing I've done with kind of the exact same idea you said right there. But what I normally do with the scouts is as they train, I send them out to go scouting. And then after they're all out scouting, I got like 6 scouts going out. And then I click the select all military units command and I have them all converge on one person and they start raiding. It's really powerful. Like for example in business, yeah, yeah. Okay, you're typing, cool. That's. But but we gotta think about this. There's gonna be uncertainty and ambiguity, um, when trying to figure out what we want to do, and that's when you come down to: are we gonna militia rush? Are we gonna archer rush? Are we gonna scout rush? Or are we not gonna do any of those because our player is so good, just like me, or he's at the same level as me that anything I throw at him, he's just gonna counter. And if I can't keep my economy going while he's countering, I end up hurting myself more than I actually hurt him just because I was too aggressive. That's I think one of the things a lot of noob Age of Empires 2 players run into is they just try being too aggressive and their economy suffers more than their enemy's economy. And you actually see this in some pro players that rush really, really hard, their economy suffers. And when their rush fails, their game is just dead. And it is a does have some opportunity costs of having aggression. Um, but like to counter rush, you definitely need to have information and you need to scout well and be able to and you need to know the possibilities of what happens. But most of us kind of know that you're gonna scout militia or scout militia or archer rush, fast castle knights, fast imperial trub rush, 4 TC boom, 3 TC boom. I mean the strategies are kind of um the high consistent ones through all the civilizations are kind of known, but then you get some tricky ones like the Slav arena rush with the siege tower to drop 30 swordsmen over the wall to kill their base while they're 3 TC booming. The Viper did that a couple weeks ago. I thought that was very, very cool because I like Slavs and no one ever uses the siege tower, and that was just that was great. Yes, these things are important, but these people don't pay attention to the 30-second unique time windows that happen in the that can change the balance. Of course, the basics have to be done first, like scouting. Yeah, yeah. But but what I was trying to get at, the noobs don't have those basic skills. So like, it's good that they're trying to get into the meta and start with good habits, but I don't know. I always feel like you're kind of following someone else's footsteps, and I don't like following people's footsteps. Like that's why I don't like using, like I don't know, like in Age of Empires 3. If you want to be really really good at Age of Empires 3, what you did is you rushed, and you rushed as a team. You 4 people rushed as a team to the enemy. It was amazing. In Age of Empires 2, you don't have that. You have 2 flanks rushing. You have 2 pockets booming, and that's about it. It's like a 2v2 match. It's kind of disappointing in my field. There's no teamwork, and then when your 4th person on the other your flank, when you're playing as a flank and your other flank loses, it's just like, well, I won my side, but the other side lost. That's my frustration with 4v4s but I like 4v4s. I'm really good at 1v1s. I just enjoy playing with people more than 1v1s. I mean, I've never lost a 1v1 definitive edition game, but I've only played 4 1v1 definitive edition games. But yeah, just talking while you put your ideas out. We've been talking for a good 40 minutes. This has been very, very fun-filled idea stream so far. Even so, I was going to go with League of Legends, but when I play League of Legends, like I go into the same strategical, mindset. 1100. Yeah, I'll show you. 4 wins. I got like 1150 elo. Actually, I also beat every single campaign on hard. So like last November when DE came out, because I played Age of Empires 3 so much and I played it very highly competitive. So it makes me good at Age of Empires 2, but I'm not competing at like some of these high elo people, and it's just because the game is different, but it's the same. You know, it's like a lot of the new unit counters I gotta learn. I mean, Age of Empires 3, there's unique units in every single civilization. No two unit kind of had the same thing. But yeah, beat every single campaign on hard, just practicing, like getting my micros, the hotkeys down, getting my micro down so strong. My micro has gotten so strong just from being every single campaign on hard, striving for 0 death. And it took me like, I'm just proud of this. Like, I mean, oh, wait, let's go back. I'm gonna look at your comment again in a second. Your campaigns. I mean, there's a few of them. Actually, I have not beat every campaign. There's one campaign I need to beat yet. I gotta do the historical battles too, but it's actually really freaking hard to do this campaign. This one's done. It just an update undid my progress 1 month. Which one is it? And then I use a cheat code on this one, but this is like the easiest campaign in all of AOE2 history. That's the intro. That's why I use a cheat code, because I just wanted to get done. I can't. Which one do I? Oh, right. Which one do I not have done? It's literally like the hardest campaign I ever played. It's right here. This campaign is stupid difficult. Stupid difficult. I beat every single campaign, and I can't beat this campaign. And it's the very last campaign. It's like 1550 AD. I did it in chronological order. And I don't know why this bottom bar shows up, and it's been doing that lately. I got to restart my computer or something. I don't remember what this campaign is, but it's stupid difficult. You were like level 21. I got my level 20. Oh, your rank was level 21? That's a pretty decent rank. That's like a lieutenant, second lieutenant. I was around level 25, 26. Peaked at 27. 24 to 27 I bounced around, and I played the Japan meta with Indian meta, which was the two strongest civilizations in the Asian dynasties before the multiplayer died.
Father,
yeah, this campaign is so hard.
you are tired from the long journey.
Like,
Long is a mile to him who is tired.
show me the map.
Is life to him.
What do I do here? Oh yeah, I gotta visit all 4 wonders.
Go to meditate.
So it's like you have to rush.
Watch over
Yeah,
me.
I've struggled doing this one. I remember it now. So you gotta push here and hit all 4, but you gotta like push from 2 sides almost, and they get exponentially more difficult. It's a really complicated campaign. If you want a challenge in a campaign that I don't think I don't even know how to beat yet, it's the 5th one of that one we just looked at, of the Benin. I think it's the Premiers. The Rise, the Premiers is incredibly difficult to do that campaign. Like, there are some hardened campaigns, like it's like literally the last campaign Age of Empires 2 ever made in chronological order, 1581. Literally the last one, and I don't know if they did that purposely. Like, okay, this is the last campaign. We're gonna make this stupid difficult, and they did. Oh wait, what's that? What's this? Oh, okay, data mod. So what are we talking about now? I know I went on a little tangent there, just because I find my progress impressive. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you my run rate of. Like, look at that, 4 wins, 0 losses. My elo is decent. I feel like I can get it a little bit higher. I peaked over 1600 a couple weeks ago, but I've only been playing for like, I don't know, I started playing in May, like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and then before that I was all in the campaigns. I wasn't even playing competitively, just because like it's weird to go from Age of Empires 3 and being very, very good at this freaking game, and then coming to Age of Empires 2 and having an expectation that you are supposed to be very good at this type of game, and it's like There's these really good people you feel like you want to perform at their level, like the Viper, but at the same time, I don't want to follow the Viper's footsteps. I want to figure it out myself. And eventually, after I look at it myself, we're gonna go look at what the Viper is doing. And looking at the engineering design process, the research would be looking at. Oh wait, I got the research would be um, looking at what other pros do. And then we can imagine, and we're already imagining and planning. We all do that when we watch the Viper. And then we create a prototype build that we repeat over and over again. Then we test it and we evaluate and improve. And then we ask the question again if we want. Or we ask a new question. I mean, I could definitely see myself making some content, talking about these business ideas and adding them to Age of Empires ideas. Not to get better at business, not to teach business, not to learn about Age of Empires, but to simply figure out how to play the game better, right? Okay, the I don't want to be biased. That's what I mean. I don't want to be biased. Like when that's why I like playing on Nomad, because there wasn't really a meta. No one really knew how to play Nomad. But Arabia, Arabia is you have to play Arabia this way or you were bad at Arabia because like the best strategies are already known, you know? Or the best strategies known are being used a lot, I should say. Just because he's doing it doesn't mean makes it his, but like it's called a meta though. It's like yeah, it just comes down to statistics. Like League of Legends, I use League of Graphs. So this is me using data to get better at League of Legends. This is how I would do it. Heimerdinger. This is my process. I type in Heimerdinger. I do Heimerdinger. I'm in the AD carry lane. And then I'm versing this champion. So there's 5 lanes and there's like 200 champions. So I find my matchup. Okay, that's actually a mid matchup. Heimerdinger versus mid in the middle lane, and my rank is gold right now. So my win rate is 51%. Win rate versus Malzahar is 40% gold difference. So actually, win rate versus Malzahar is 30. I have a disadvantage versus Malzahar. But we can look at the item setup to figure out what build has the best chance of winning and the best chances of doing well versus this setup. But this is like meta, and this would be like following the Viper's footsteps. But I would use this information as like a point to see what's the best in all situations, but this is the best in all situations. So then you got to step back and start figuring out, or no, this is the best situation all with the Heimerdinger. If we could do all situations too. And Heimerdinger has an overall win rate of 65% win rate. If I go Ludens, Zonias into Deathcap in the mid lane, I win 65% of the chance of games in gold level. Like it just uses statistics, and the Viper and T90 have used statistics like this before, but it's just these statistics bias me. And to be fair, when I look at these, I'll try the build, but when I actually play, I rarely use the build that's optimal because there's builds that are even better than this build. This is just the build that's best overall, but it's not best in every single case, and that's what makes it interesting. Right. It's universal. He's just doing it. The guys in nuclear plants are like, I'm not gonna follow this motherfucker Einstein. Yeah, right. But like, but my idea is like, I'm an engineer. I should be able to figure out what the Viper is doing just by determining what the best choices are. Like, I should be able to come up with the best choices without the Viper telling me. But it's funny, a lot of the things that I do, the Viper ends up doing. Like the nomad thing, sending the villagers to wood first to get your dock producing first. I figured that out myself. I just realized the Viper does the same thing on some matches. I'm sure he varies. He might go 1 dock rush or 2 dock rush. He normally goes 2 dock from what I was seeing back in AOE2 HD. He might change the D. Nomad's not really that DE map anymore, so you don't see people playing D or Nomad anymore, which kind of makes me sad, but it is what it is. And instead of clogging in with data, it's better to focus on the inputs and process the great results of trying to optimize every concept. So like, I have a really good example of this, and I totally agree. And like, so like, the example of this, like you want to focus on constantly making villagers from your town center non-stop. And what's the opportunity cost if you stop producing villagers to make more military now? Well, you get more military now, but you get less resources in the future to make even more resources exponentially. So you could be a larger army now, but a smaller army down the future. And if you don't do the damage, well then, it's not worth the opportunity cost. But another one would be, let's go. I want to show you something that focuses on optimally and efficiency that just doesn't matter. Optimal farm efficiency. And it's actually, I've actually like studied this, but like, it really doesn't matter. Go outside, crazy. Go outside. Dog's not going outside. Yeah, I'll just go to my channel, find the video. It's in AOE right here. No, not that one. It's in the solution one. Where is it? I'm confused. It's the way to go for this ranked Black Forest game. Hey guys, just got my. Oh, it's right here.
Hey guys, my name is Super
What
Runner,
the
and we're
fudge?
looking at-
Maybe okay. It's one of my top videos. It's one of my top videos, which is why I did it, because these types of videos perform best, but like the information of it wasn't really that important. But it's definitely an interesting concept. So it's the concept of efficient farm placement. So what we can figure out, what we start off with is we can look at our best mill setups. And the best mill setup relative to so like what typical people do. So I figured out optimal farming here, but is about so these farms are more efficient than these farms, and it's because it has to do with the average distance the villager walks for a drop off rate. So for these farms, the villager will walk an average of 2 tiles to drop off, and over here they walk more on average to drop off, and even farther out it gets even worse and worse. I have another video that explains it a bit quicker. That one's a little bit more into just doing the puzzle. This is just kind of the conclusion right here, which says it a bit quicker. If you want the best farm setup, which will give you, it's that setup right there.
It's this design, the right side, and then the right side. Again, reiterating.
So
now, this setup is wrong. This setup is correct.
Yep.
This is where they're spending most time, right here.
Right
so
here.
They had to walk. That distance right here. The angle of a square is farther than this length of the square. So that's why this placement is better than that placement. The logic between optimal farming.
So I don't know if you know this. Why this farm is more efficient than a farm right here. It's because a farmer only farms resources from the top left 4 squares. So the villager never even steps into these squares. So when the villager hits its maximum carry load, wherever he is in this square, the average position is going to be right in the middle, and that's the drop off rate, 1 tile. Over here though, his average spot is going to be right here, and average dropper rate all of a sudden comes 2. So it's 1, 2 there, and 2 back. So that's 4 spaces you got to walk, and here is 2. So this one right here, the one on the right, is 3% faster than the one on the left. So like if you wanted the best mill setup, you would do like this, and all your farms would be 3% faster than normal. And then if you start putting a second layer of farms, it drops off to like 9% slower farms, and then even farther out it gets like the 23% slower farms. It gets exponentially worse. But if you look at how the Viper plays, he'll take one town center and he'll have like 2-3 layers of farms. And why is that? Because the efficiency just doesn't matter. Getting the farms out quick without investing so much wood in mills is more effective, more productive than building a perfect efficient setup. The perfect efficient setup is going to work better in the long run, but not in the short run. It's going to make you vulnerable to rushes and you got to invest more, but in the late run you'll be stronger. So then how do you use this information? Well, I would say just put your first 5 farms on the most optimal spots, which is 3 on the side. It's either 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, or 2 in the bottom like this and 1 on the right. But it's here, not 1 over, or else it's the wrong spot. And then 2 sides on the farm. And then that's your first 5 optimal farms. And then you have a 3% farming bonus for everyone that doesn't take. That's like a very simple, efficient advantage that you can take just by properly placing your farm. But it's so insignificant that it's like, yeah, I spent all this cool time figuring this out and it improves the efficiency, but like the significance of the technique, not as good as some other things to focus on. Because to do this, like, I need to add 100 extra wood for every 120 wood I spend. And that's a lot of freaking wood. With mining and gold and stone, those are easy to be efficient. I just always do 2 villagers. Well, I'll actually do 1 villager per resource if I can, but for like stone and gold, I'll do 2. Wood, I'll do 1, because I want that villager that's right on the lumber camp to have the most efficiency of that closeness. If you have 2 people on that resource, well, you just killed the efficiency of that closeness by having a second guy dwindle that resource down faster, so that guy to your left of you only gets that great efficiency for half the time. But the sell-off is you get lower efficiency rate early, but you get higher efficiency rate later, because you still have the same amount of wood in the same area. It's just, I'm pretty sure you see what I mean. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of components into decision making. That's why I want to create the mini map that is sent and create it into 3D instead of paper, so more connections can be formed and decisions can be made better by counting in more aspects. Risk reward ratio on previous performances. New implements micro into block scouts to weak monk. The maps that have been generated in the past with the same civ matchup, the area of walling space versus the amount of energy required to defend it, etc. If we can label these sequences and aspects, weight their effect in the outcome of the game, and run them through a 3D web of decision-making resources a few times, like an artificial intelligence, and then present an outcome, then take the advantage of outcomes and input it into a system to better organize it. So what's the difference between 2D and 3D? Like, I understand the difference, but you don't need a computer model to represent 3D on a 2D piece of paper. 2D just means you have a 2D to 3D just means you have an extra variable. And in the real life, the third variable is the y-axis or the z-axis. Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're okay. Dude, are you trying to do something like this? Here, League of Legends does something like this. Stats. You talking about like something like this, where the 5 pieces is KDA, kill participation, damage share, damage for death, and utility score, and then I could see I'm strong. You can see where I'm strong and weak and oh, that's for combat. And there's income. Is this? It's a little bit. I mean, it's a different. It's I think it's getting at the same concept as you, but it's in a different form. You know what I mean? Because it's focusing on kill participation, KDA, utility score, damage per second, and damage share. So you could do like ability to feudal rush, ability to castle rush, ability to imperial rush, ability to dark rush, ability to boom. And then you could do it like that. But you seem to have something like bubbles. So maybe here you mean a larger brother. The word COVID world population diagram. Or is the diagram you're talking about more like COVID deaths worldwide? I'm looking at COVID deaths because that's what. Or are you looking at a graph more like this, where like this is a concentration map, but it shows where the most cases are. It's crazy how many cases are in India. But maybe that's not the graph you're looking at either. Yeah, it's kind of helped, but it has to count in more factors that and be wider to calculate more robust output and by adding more components. Okay, so let's take a step back. This tool we're about to use. So every tool I presented to you so far is like it's documented, it's studied, it's created by some, or the idea has been documented by someone. Like nothing I've created, all those ideas is I didn't create. So did you create this idea, or is this a created? Does it have a name for it? And if it does have a name, what is that name? Because we'll look at the name, and then I can study a little bit more, and then I can get a little bit better focus on organizing what we're trying to do here. Because if it's a previous system that people have used, well then you're just gonna follow the steps they've done in the past and make it work for Age of Empires 2. But if it's a new system, well then we got if no one has ever done this before in this type of manner that you're thinking, then we have to be very creative in how to be focused in the right area to make this project a little bit simpler. Because we're a bit too general of what you want, I think. I think you have an idea, but until you get one repetition of what you're trying to do, I think we're going to be a little fuzzy on exactly what you're looking for. So you said what you kind of said, this was like one civilization with each number being a different aspect, a different criteria, right? Is that what you're thinking? Or just like decision mapping, like I don't think we need AI. We don't have enough data for AI. AI runs off data, massive amounts of data that is always continuously adding to the database. And so the output of the system is always changing because the input is always changing and the input is the database. Okay, let me take an attempt of the idea you want. I got an idea. Google Sheets. Let's see. And also write down your ideas too. I'm just, as you're typing, continuing to think. Well, I mean, that sounds great, but what exactly does it look like? I mean, you say use the logic that AI uses. The logic that AI uses is it depends on what you're looking for. Do you want a robot to be able to talk to any person in the world? Well, then you just have to continuously feed it language databases until it gets to a point that it can talk to any person in the world. And it's just like the human brain. How do we learn languages? We feed it information, and our like over time the languages get better and better and better. And like the robot itself would have crude language, but over time it would collect enough data to realize its little differences to be able to speak in a more fluent manner. But even so, that focuses on AI and intuition of a human, just like figuring out, I mean, unless we know what we're trying to look for. Okay, the percent matchup wins. Okay, see, at least now we got some data. We got some data we can actually grab. But the AI is only as good as the data, so I mean we could start with the data. I like that. We just take the data, see what we have, and see what we can do with it. And even if like the statistic is kind of like random, it's still gonna have it's still gonna have a predictability. So I trade in the stock market, and my method is this: you take your input, you put your output, and then you get your result. So the input could be like, okay, Britons versus Goths. Britons has a 35% win rate of winning a Goths. So that's your input. Your output is, or so your expected output, your input is 35% win rate. Your expected output is 35% win rate. And then your actual result is either win or lose. And then you could have another variable about the Britons and Goth, or you could do it like I don't know, like, but like that's just too easy. That's just literally looking at win rates. That's kind of like what I was doing here in the Heimendinger, right? Just looking at two civilizations and or two champions and see how they match up in the game. I see. I would like to. I actually tried creating a system like this, but I mean, like, it's kind of silly for me to create it when there's already a huge database doing it. Let's look at AO2 DE databases. An Android game for recorded AOE2 sheet. Will be AOE2 tools. Wow, there's actually ooh AOE2 stats. AOE2 map database. Oh, map database. Ooh. Oh no, this is just download maps. AO2DE matchup statistics. See, it's gonna be really data is the hardest thing to find. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What the hell? It doesn't give you. How am I supposed to objectify that? It doesn't even give a percentage. So, but one thing you could. Yeah, see, this is where I'm getting lost. Where do we go from here? The Civ matchup wins I could see, but like. Yeah, no problem, man. Um, come back with your idea again, and I'm gonna try doing something with it. That's why I'm talking to you so much, 'cause I'm really interested on this idea. Obviously, I'm the one that posed the question and you answered it. So yeah, thank you for your time, man. You have a great day. Yeah, just feel free to Instagram me whenever. We can play some Age of Empires 2 games. Doesn't matter how good you or I are. We're gonna figure out what's the best, right? But I think like more interesting like statistics would be like how good does a scout rush do, and how good does a well, I mean, I know what you mean, but like, GG's. I know what you mean to conclude it. I know what you mean, but there is an easy way to manipulate data to get powerful results, and then there's a hard way to manipulate data to get powerful results. And the easy way takes like 20 minutes of in an Excel file, and the other one takes 20 hours of working an Excel file. And because I'm going to be working an Excel file, I gotta format it in a way that makes me get answers easily, because it's just what I practiced in engineering school, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, Haluka. I'll catch you later. I'm gonna play some League of Legends, and that was a lot of fun. We talked about some really good concepts there. I mean, that video is pretty good on itself. I should have just recorded that video, but there's a stream of it at least. Cool, very cool. Okay, let's me move over to my League of Legends start screen. And that's activate video device. I gotta check my investments real quick. Bitcoin. Gotta put in a trade real quick. What's the market doing right now? Dow Jones, it's up. It's actually expanding. It's gonna expand. Okay. Hmm. Sorry, I'm looking at this pretty hard right now. This graph. All right, let's get into a game here. Sorry, I'm in like middle of a trade. Middle of a decision-making choice right here. My iPod put on. All right.
Hey, you lost! But I get it.
Indeed, a wise choice.
All right. Sound check. All right, so let's start this game off with a you know, might need help top. Anyway, okay. Because of God King. God King. Who's God King? God King. God King. God King. Who the fuck is God King? Try Phase Rush. Ally next time. My Kidian's broken. They nerfed Aftershock. I'm gonna count the pokes I get this game, okay? We're gonna count the pokes. We decided to opt for the blue leash instead of the steel this time because I feel like the strong leash is so good as is, and I don't really need the steel. And the steel can be can have a negative effect on the team sometimes, making the top lane being ganked quicker than normal. I had a feeling she was gonna hit me, but I had a path in a way that allowed me to. Graves is bot side and top side. Ah, pizza juice. Played that well, but Kate is you're overstaying, Timo. I don't know what I could have done better, but wow, he flashed. It's impressive thing for him to do. Kind of not, I guess. He actually stopped me. What are you doing? That's funny. What are you doing, Kate? Greedy on that farm? Greedy on the farm. Greedy on the farm. Actually, probably could have this overlay and the other overlay together. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm about to get hit. I'm about to get hit. I'm about to get hit. Decent consequences. This goes down. I'll get your mid. Sorry, but you took my XP, so I'm taking your XP. I only find it fair for the efficiency of the game that we are playing. I would have tried Wing that, but I knew we had it. There was no need for the W. If you guys still watching, hit that like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's grab that CS. Oh, I fucked that up. It's a big wave. I just want the CS. And go. So yeah, I'm using this Summer Unsealed Spellbook and 5% cooldown reduction with scaling runes for ability power and the CD, and damage on the melee with speed, and a bunch of summer swaps, you know? Oh, nice. Could have played that better, but nice blind. Good shit. What I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, Timo. What I'm talking about, Timo. Yeah. I'm just being stupid. Oh shit. I love it. I love it. Let's go dominate. Let's go dominate some plebs. Some unfortunate summoners. I've already had an extra 2 summoners. I mean, I think the only spell book is great if you want to go, you know, teal like I am. I think we got this win in the bag. It's just a matter of trying to get a play here, but she's playing so safe that okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing you could do. But I would have, I guess, yeah, kept it alive longer. Just it doesn't attack when it's yeah, let's just end this, guys. Push this shit down. Dude, it's over. This game's over. We got this. GG's. GG's. Yeah, I want to back up. Bro, it's hey, come on. Why aren't you helping? Like, these things are kicking my ass because you're not helping. The only reason I attacked him because I thought you were gonna help. I guess he did, but things kicking my ass. Don't have mana. There we go. Hammerdinger, Timo dominating the bot lane. Good game. What season is it? Season 9? What season is it? What patch is it? Patch 10.8. I said 9. I said 9. Oh, where's my head? I don't know. It's been so long since I've started playing this game. Wait, 10.8, 10. Put this into Warzone compilation. Like that. Yep. List of everything I gotta upload. Let me check something real quick.
Hey, you lost, but I get it.
So since we're going support, what should we change? This rune, right? Biscuit, right? Yeah. Gold biscuit. You know what? Let's do that so we can do some poking, right?
Indeed, a wise choice.
It's a Zillion Heimerdinger. Or Zillion on the enemy team. That should be interesting. I don't know, like, if changing the skin I wear increases or decreases the odds of winning, but I'm changing it up. I really wish I had the alien one, and the pool party is pretty new. Hazmat was most expensive, kind of overrated. If you guys are out there and you guys haven't liked my Super Hunter 2 YouTube page, I could really use your subscription or your follow on Twitch. But subs help me huge on YouTube. They're probably the most impactful and some of the hardest things to get because YouTube regulates subscriptions so hard, and it's probably a good thing because the more real subscriptions for YouTube, the better it is. Like, it's free to subscribe, but subscribing to the content. Another thing that helps grow is YouTube views, and then Twitch views. Those are probably, and then my Facebook page, Super2 Facebook likes. Those are probably my top 3-4 metrics that help me grow the hardest. And really, probably any any streamer probably benefit a lot from those aspects. But look at that, 1.95 million X points since the point system started of Heimerdinger. Like most all these other people have is 185, 200, 140. So my game knowledge and experience is very, very, very large. This game we're actually gonna steal because I'm not the ADC, so it definitely gonna steal the red this game. So I head over to steal the red, and Kate will do the CSing. I'll probably gank mid. Solo stealing red. Let's update my team on what's going on, and also update in the stream. More importantly, just kidding. Actually, you guys are pretty important relative to the team. You guys are almost more important than the game if it really comes down to it. I really want to take the game seriously, not focus on the stream. I should just play offline, you know what I mean? Like, relative to the, like, I don't know, because when I'm streaming, she stream for the people watching. Really trying to keep my talking continuous as well, even if no one's watching at the moment. Because the VODs I make and stuff like that, that stuff pays off. And this YouTube, it might go to YouTube, so say hi YouTube guys. I know it says there's a couple people watching, but I don't know if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Oh, there's one on Twitch. I make and stuff like that, that stuff pays off. Alright, let's do this. He's fucking it up. Stop, dude! You're fucking it up. You gonna reset him. See? For fuck's sakes. This is why I say solo red. That was just slightly irritating. I mean, I'll trade with you all day. You don't do much damage. Kates will get an early level advantage here, so I'm not too worried about using my TP to get to lane like I normally would. Didn't expect to get cheesed there, but at the same time, he knew I had ganked Zillion. Furo gets killed on top. And they're gonna play it super aggressive. Just gonna take it nice and slow. I should just poke, I guess. I don't know why she went up like that. She went really deep up. Nice little dodge there. Lux is gonna go back. poke off. Kate. Really? Dude, Kate. Chasing, that's what you're doing. The second time you did shit like that. Like, why not just hit the 60 CS cannon minion?
Society has this whole dragon thing backwards.
So both times he got himself killed was because he was being over aggressive. With the Kate's does so well if you just never be aggressive. I mean, it's so hard to kill her. But when you chase a Kate, well, Misfortune that runs faster than you, and there's a Lux who can just kite the shit out of you, I just don't know what you're expecting. I'll let him ADC because I can do fine in support, but it's also the elo I'm playing at. Just fine. I mean, I'm not the perfect either. But look like that. Like, you walked up to literally just take a poke. You won the poke, and then you kept going. That was pretty good. Juked him. Oh. Countered. For some reason I thought Lux already used I thought she already used her stun. I don't know if I have to use TP here. Probably not. Probably just make it back to lane in time. Well, I kind of wish I was ADC with how Kate's playing. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. I should have just teleported, but I didn't know the support from the jungle isn't coming. I should just start CSing. No, I know I didn't need to do that, but I just don't like missing cannon minions. Got quiet all of a sudden, but I don't play with music, so yeah, it's gonna be quiet. Let's see. Because like competitively, I think it's very important that the sounds you hear are very focused. So music is just an additive distraction. What a crazy fight. I didn't have to do that. I could have just TP'd in and killed them both. She was gonna stop my back, so like I just thought I tried to kill her and then back, and as you can see, That was the result. Do I got boots in this build? Don't even know. Are they right there? I don't even know. I just needed it back. So close. Man, I wonder how close he really was. I don't know if I really wonder if I would have made it back. You guys probably rewatched that little part and you could tell me if I would have made it or not. Should have held Kate CS. But Kate plays so fucking aggressive, dude. Like, what the fuck, Kate? I should have never let you play. It's ADC, like, holy shit. Kate, just stop being aggressive, man. Every time you step up, you die. Stop stepping up. They shouldn't be able to kill you, Kate. If you just sit back. Wow, I can't even clear the fucking wave with an ult without being killed. I even dodged the freaking Q. Alright, let's see how the rest of the map is doing. Yeah, Mundo on top. It's not necessarily my game here. Kinda wish I was ADC though. Just gave it up because I could be more versatile. I assumed I could be more versatile than him, but I guess putting myself into a support position is oh, I fucked that up. I don't know how I fucked that up. I like zoomed up by accident. Fuck you. Wow. Oh. That redeems one of your deaths. You should leave. But without the map, like, we might have a chance. Still with the team comp.
Operant analysis to train out unwanted conduct. My hair is not a chamber.
Oh, 42 gold. Never mind. It wasn't 60 gold. Very aggressive. Just let the other lanes win. After 7 deaths, I think you're not the carry.
It's drifted too far. An interesting hypothesis.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Totally fine with my team carrying me. I gotta get rid of the support item though, I think. It just told me back. I gotta push this line one more time or it's not gonna go in. Which is, that's actually fine where it is. Because we'll get the experience for the lane then. Yep, I'm going this way.
Fascinating, aren't they?
We let it push back on us when there's a dragon, which is... Oh shit! Yeah, I'm done with this game. Definitely. It's over. The game's over. Yeah. 2 lanes. Got almost 10 kill deaths. On to the next one.
with your eyes closed.
Sorry about the air fan thing you're hearing. Alright.
Indeed, a wise choice.